Erik Ten Hag's job safe at Manchester United until the end of the season? And are Ineos lining up Thomas Tuchel to be the next Manchester United manager? These are some of the stories we will be discussing on this evening's show. But before we jump into that, please smash a like on today's video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's get straight on into it. So before we get into the good stuff, I want to do a bit of your usual transfer-related news, and I want to talk about a certain Mr. Adrien Rabiot. Now, all of those who don't know, 2 years ago, John Murta got on a plane to Turin, went and met Adrien Rabiot's mother. And you probably sat there at home thinking, why the hell was John Murta going to meet Adrien Rabiot's mother? What's going on here? Is there something weird going on? No. Rabiot's mother is his agent. He went over there to meet him because his contract was expiring at Juventus. And apparently, they had a falling out. And Rabiot didn't come to Man United. Man United weren't willing to match his wage demands, reportedly wanting £300,000 to £350,000 a week. But apparently, Manchester United are now back in talks to sign Adrien Rabiot this summer. This is coming out from 5 or 6 different sources in the UK this evening. And his contract will expire at Juventus in about a month's time, or in June. So he'll be a free agent. He'll cost us nothing. Now, look at it like this. Christian Eriksen needs to go. He's still got a contract, but I imagine you could probably sell him for a couple of million. Casemiro needs to go. A Saudi club will pay us 30-40 million for Casemiro, 100%. Now, answer me this. We get rid of Casemiro and we get rid of Eriksen. Let's say for a combined fee of 40 million. That's probably about realistic, okay? Then you go and sign Rabiot for nothing. So you've got 40 million in the bank. You've gone and signed probably a better player at the moment. I know Casemiro was a better midfielder in his day, but his legs are gone, let's be honest. And so is Eriksen. So you go and get Rabiot. Casemiro, 350 grand a week. Eriksen, 150 grand a week. You'd be saving 500 grand a week on wages alone by getting rid of those two players. You bring in Rabiot, probably have to give him about 250 grand a week, but that's still half of what Casemiro and Eriksen were earning combined. Now, I've said this to you guys many, many times on the show before. We need to get rid of 90% of these players this summer. You know, there's so many people in this squad, even ones you've probably forgotten about. Donny van der Beek, Brandon Williams, Jadon Sancho, Martial's going, Johnny Evans. Like, I'm not even talking about the controversial ones like the Brunos or the Rashfords or whoever it might be. There are so many people in this squad who will be leaving this summer. Yes, they're not the most trendy names. I mean, Wan-Bissaka will probably go. I reckon Lindelof could go, to be honest. Like, we're not even talking about ones that we're desperate to get out of the club. You know, Alvaro Fernandez, Hannibal Mejbri, Pellistri, Ahmad. What's going to happen to all of these people, you know? All of these people on the brink of the squad who aren't getting picked. And we need to be clever with our signings and to be able to go and get a French international World Cup winner who has had a really, really good season for Juventus for nothing is what we need to be doing. So for me personally, I 100% endorse this transfer, and I really, really hope that Manchester United are ahead of everyone else and they go and sign Rabiot. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do I think he's the best midfielder in the world? No. Do I think he's our problem? He's going to solve our midfield problems for the next 10 years? No. But is he a good option as a free agent for the next kind of 3 or 4 years? Yes. Will he improve our team? Yes. And do I like the sound of a Rabiot and Mainu partnership? Yes. So for me, it's a yes, yes, yes. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Rabiot to Manchester United, yes or no? That all rhymed. Very nice. Right. Let's crack on with the rest of the show. Let's move over to the manager. And the headline this evening coming out from Jamie Jackson, very reliable journalist here in the UK. He is reporting this evening that Erik Ten Hag remains safe as the Manchester United manager until the end of the season, with Jim Ratcliffe having no intent to sack the Dutchman, despite the increased pressure on him following Sunday's alarming FA Cup win over Coventry. So yesterday's victory has brought Erik Ten Hag at least until the end of the season. We've got the FA Cup final against Man City on May the 25th. I think it's in 4 weeks on Saturday. That could be Erik Ten Hag's last game. He's not going to be sacked before then. The season is effectively over in the Premier League. We're not going to get top 4. It's not going to happen. We're on 50 points at the moment. Aston Villa are on 66 points. And there's only 18 points left to play for. So the only way we get top 4 now is if we win our final 6 games. We've got Arsenal, we've got Brighton, we've got Newcastle, we've even got Crystal Palace away, which will be difficult, right? All of these teams we've still got to play. We would have to win all 6 of our remaining fixtures, and Aston Villa would probably have to lose all of their remaining fixtures. It's not going to happen. So top 4 is gone. Manchester United will not be getting Champions League football this season. So, next season. We need to now be targeting the 6th place. We need to get the Europa League because that's the very, very minimum for Manchester United. We need to have some form of European competition. We can't be out of Europe completely. That's not acceptable for Manchester United, I'm sorry. Not being in the Champions League is not really acceptable, but we haven't been good enough to be in the Champions League. We finished bottom of our group. So I'm not going to sit here and say we deserve to be in the Champions League because we simply do not. But yeah, so obviously we'll wait and see what happens with Ten Hag. But moving on from that, the other headline, the kind of subplot to all of this, coming out from literally everybody at the moment, is that apparently Manchester United have now shown official interest in signing Thomas Tuchel. It says, who would be ready for a new challenge this summer and is very interested in joining Manchester United. So, I mean, I would say that Thomas Tuchel is probably the favourite to become the Manchester United manager now, being completely honest with you. Let's have a look at what the odds are saying. Obviously, he's leaving Bayern Munich. We know that Jim Ratcliffe likes him. We know that Thomas Tuchel dreams of becoming the Man United manager, apparently. He's now second favourite at the bookies to become the new Manchester United manager. Do I think Thomas Tuchel would be a good man for the job? It's hard to say. I mean, he failed at PSG. He's failed at Bayern Munich, realistically. Let's be honest. They won the season by 1 point last year. They've not won the season this year. It's the first time in, I think, 12 years that Bayern Munich have not won the Bundesliga. In my opinion, he has been a failure at most of his top clubs. Yes, he won the Champions League at Chelsea. Do I think he's a better manager than Erik Ten Hag? I honestly don't know, to be honest. I wouldn't say he's better. I would say he's probably on par. Do I want Thomas Tuchel to come in? I don't know. Not really, to be honest, being completely straight. But after the performance yesterday, if someone said to me, Thomas Tuchel's going to come in and we're going to sell 80-90% of the players and start afresh, I would probably be open to it, being completely honest. But I would still rather keep Erik Ten Hag and do that. But I just wonder whether, Ineos are thinking we can kind of start afresh with a new manager, with different kind of expectations, with different boundaries and different kind of, relationship. Because we know that when Erik Ten Hag joined, he wanted control over the signings. He got so much more control than what a usual manager would get. And maybe Ineos aren't happy about that. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, we've got another journalist coming out saying that Tuchel has now had contacts with Manchester United. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is a big fan of Tuchel and inquired about the manager with a view to potentially move to Manchester United in the summer if Erik Ten Hag is sacked. So, I don't know. I would prefer him to Graham Potter or Gareth Southgate, but I'm still not really excited about it, being honest. Yeah, but let me know what you guys think. The final story on Thomas Tuchel is this. It says, there is support inside Sir Jim Ratcliffe's team for Thomas Tuchel to become the new Manchester United manager if Erik Ten Hag departs, and representatives have been asked to be kept informed of developments regarding the German's future. It says Thomas Tuchel is open to speaking to Manchester United if a vacancy opened up, and his preference is return to the Premier League. Barcelona are also interested in him. So there are clubs interested in him. Obviously, we wouldn't have to pay Bayern Munich any money because they've already sacked him. He's already agreed to leave at the end of the season. Yeah, I think what will probably happen is if you want my prediction, this isn't what I want, but this is my prediction. Erik Ten Hag will stay till the end of the season, as I said earlier. We will probably lose the FA Cup final. And I think after that, they'll announce that Erik Ten Hag's been sacked and they'll bring in maybe Thomas Tuchel. I think that's probably the most likely option at the moment because obviously Thomas Tuchel will be available. He's not got a contract with Bayern. It will have expired by then. Unless Erik Ten Hag wins the next 6 games in a row and then beats Man City, then obviously I think it would be almost impossible to sack him. But after what we saw yesterday, do we really think we're going to beat Man City? Do we think we're going to beat Arsenal in a couple of weeks? We play Brighton, we play Newcastle. We've got a really difficult end to the season. It doesn't ease up for Erik Ten Hag. We've got a couple of easy fixtures coming up now. I think we play Sheffield United and Burnley at home. But after that, it's literally Arsenal, Newcastle, Brighton. I mean, we could easily lose all 3 of those matches, I think, but we'll have to wait and see. And I'm sure Jim Ratcliffe is closely watching on the situation and, a decision will be made after that FA Cup final on May the 25th. As always, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Would you like Thomas Tuchel to become the Man United manager? Let me know your thoughts. I'm going to wrap the video up here. If you have enjoyed today's video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. This has been Daily Red Devil. Have a lovely evening, everybody, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow morning.